They gave a good effort. They've been on spring break. They're rusty. We're probably going to need this week to get the rust out of them before we get started next week.
Garrett's injury that caused him to procedure, miss spring camp. Is that something from this past season or something that was like a lingering issue for a couple years?
It was something that had been with him for a while, and we were told by the physicians that if we took this spring off, gave him this spring off and let him work on it, that we'd get somebody either the same or better coming back. And when they said the last part of that, I was like, better? So we can give up 15 practices to have somebody better. And if he's not, we'll get the same guy back out there. But our surgeons are really good. I believe that they can get him better, and that's the reason why we took the chance.
And how much was the timing of the procedure impacted by knowing you had Lamson back for the spring as well?
No, that had nothing. We're going to do what's best for each individual, and best thing for Garrett, especially with his aspects of turning pro and stuff, is to get that stuff out of the way before it all gets started.
And then just what have you seen out of Lamson so far today?
I thought both the quarterbacks did a nice job out there today, along with Luke. So they're all doing a good job. They're all working hard. It all starts when the pads go on.
Coach, first day of practice, like you said, new faces, obviously a little clunky. What some things that you did like and some things that you didn't like?
I liked the effort they initially gave. I didn't like the way they finished practice. They kind of teetered out a little bit, but I think that had a lot to do with spring break and trying to do a really good job on spring break, and I think they all accomplished the goal. So now we need to get them back with some moderation and get them back into football shape, and I think they'll be ready to go probably by the end of this week.
Talking about that football shape, you get on some guys, not hustling, not running to the ball. How do you feel about your team, with this first day of spring practice and the condition that they're in right now?
Well, I think they'll be fine. I think they're in condition. They need to just shake the cobwebs out and get rid of some of the drinks that they had over spring break, and once they get out of their system, they'll be fine.
What's the mood been like, today with everyone all back together and hitting the turf?
I think the camaraderie was good out there. They're excited. The new coaches bring a certain energy to it. Those guys are out there trying to impress some people that haven't been able to see what they've done up close and personal, so they're not resting on their laurels. And I always think that's exciting. When you bring new coaches in and new players in, they're trying to impress each other.
Coach, what are your expectations for Dan Villari here in his new role, wearing that 89?
I don't know. He got hurt a little bit, so we're going to take a little time before we get an opportunity to see him. I'm excited. I think he has an opportunity to do some fantastic things. Now he needs to, get on the football field and show us. But I think I'm very optimistic on what he'll be able to do.
What's the biggest thing you're going to try to get your guys to do over the spring practice? Like, what's the main goal here?
I think the main thing is to listen, learn as much as you can, and then once we get the pads on, to make sure that it's always going to be a physical spring, and then we'll get to that. And I think you got to do the banging in the spring, because in the fall it's too valuable to really do it like that way. But we get to test some individuals and see where they're at physically.
Coach, you get some new coaches on the staff. What's it like just trying to go out there and gel with them here in spring training?
I thought the new coaches did a fantastic job, which means that the older coaches did a really nice job of letting them know exactly how it was going to be. I thought they blended in extremely well. I didn't seem like the practice was, hey, where do I go? I thought they fit into our system, into our culture, and it's exciting to see what they bring.
Coach, what did Justin Lamson, just how happy are you to see him back on the field and had that injury behind him?
He had the injury last spring. We thought he had did some good things. It was unfortunate that the injury happened, but again, I think all that stuff happens for a reason. It's not our will, it's his. And I think he's coming back. He got a year of watching other guys play, which is probably the first time in his life. And now he gets an opportunity to take that knowledge of watching and apply it to his physical skills. So we're looking forward to see where he ends up.
And how would you just describe the opportunity for all these quarterbacks to spring Garrett out and just having all these reps on the table here?
It's like Christmas Day for them. They done came home and all the presents are underneath the tree with Garrett sitting out. You better get excited and take advantage of their opportunities.
Coach, what did you think of Pro Day in the sense of there was every team but one, you have a number of prospects, could be the most NFL draft picks you've had in a while here. Just what was kind of the message?
Well, first of all, the one team did show up, so every team showed up.
Okay, good to know.
And it's the first time in the 7 years that I've been here where we've had every single team here for our prospects. It was a big turnout. If you don't know what a big one is, that was a big one. And it was good to see the rest of the team watch it happen. And then I want to share something with that. To see it was a sense of pride to see, and this is just a me thing, to see Matthew Bergeron come out in his practice gear. That's his Syracuse practice gear that he's worn every single day here. And to do that on our turf in front of all those pro scouts. I've been here 7 years. I mean, guys come in with pro this, pro that, trainer this, trainer that, but I've never seen anybody do it in their own gear, unless I'm wrong. Tyler can correct me later, but it was really cool, and it was really cool to see the guys watch him do it. I thought he did a fantastic job, and he's probably going to be the highest draft pick we've had since we've been here.
Dino, you lost a couple key guys on defense to the transfer portal this offseason in Deuce and Jihad. Just what did their departure do kind of to impact the defense, and then who you pursued in the transfer portal to?
I think the biggest thing is just gives other people opportunities. You know, they had their reasons for leaving. I mean, they're pretty, if you really want to search the answers, they're not hard to find. And, you know, we'll do a better job like that in our family of trying to keep those guys here in the future. But, you know, it gives other guys opportunities, an opportunity to stand up and to compete. And I think we've got some young talent out there that's ready to step in. Now, they won't have the experience that those guys have. That's the big thing about losing somebody in the portal is how many games of experience you lose. Because now you got to watch the other ones start to grow up, where those cats could have walked out there and not made those mistakes because they've already made them before.
Last two for Coach. Is there anything you guys are doing, have been doing to maybe limit some of the injuries you had last year?
We've changed some things in the weight room. We've changed some other things of what we're doing. We're not quite sure what happened last year. I've been around a long time. I've never had a year like that. And, you know, sometimes it's just a happening. But if it happens twice, it's not. So we did our part, and we did investigations. We did a lot of stuff to try to figure out if there's something that we could do different to help. We implemented a lot of that stuff, and now we're going to see if it pays off or not.
Any specifics on the implementations?
Nothing that I would share.
Last one.
Speaking of injuries, a number of your linebackers out or in green jerseys today. Just what's Marlowack's, McDonald's, and Sparrow's statuses right now?
Making sure that they're absolutely strong enough that when they come back, we don't lose them again. Because McDonald, we think, is really good, obviously. Marlowe, does he need to practice? Yeah. Is he going to, if he's healthy, is he going to play? Yeah. So we just want to make sure that once they get out here, they stay out here. So when the trainers tell me that they can go, then we'll put them out there. Until they tell me something, I'm just going to keep watching them on the sideline, knowing that they'll be ready to go in the fall.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
See
you
you
so
guys.
much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.